The MGI drama reaches the lowest levels ever.
And it's time to call a spade a spade. Stay tuned, guys.
Let's do this, Emma.
Let's do this. Welcome back to our channel. We are the Pageant Gurus, and this is a breaking news as the world of the pageant community has been shocked by the news of Rachel Gupta resigning as the Miss Grand International Queen of 2024. Now, this comes with a lot of surprise and not so much as well, because we kind of knew there was something going around in the background for the couple of months when we have seen what's been going on with MGI and Nawat's takeover with Miss Universe Thailand, and of course the franchisee. So Guru, we have lots to talk about because it's just not one-off incident that's happened with her that she's just not happy and she decided to quit. There's a lot of things that has been happening in the background that I think we need to address, not just with her, but with a lot of queens who faced similar issues in the past.
That's right, Emma. It's a sad day for pageantry, I would say. We were so looking forward to Miss World 3 days to go.
Yeah.
And how pageantry has uplifted women and what it can do, the power of women coming together with a cause. And it's a sad day, but I also feel and believe it's a historic day. It's a historic day for women who chose to speak, for women who did not buckle under pressure. It is so scary. It's almost intimidating to rise and speak against an organization that is seemingly so working well, getting the right power, getting the limelight, acquiring businesses. I'm sure it is tough. And, it wasn't just a shocking news. It was a heartbreaking news for not just us, but millions of followers of pageantry, of Rachel, India itself. And, I'd really like to go back to that point where we won and that historic moment. So guys, have a look at that winning moment and how we reacted to Rachel's victory, the forever Miss Grand International 2024.
24 International 2024 is Grand India.
Well, Guru, this moment for us was historic because of the first time we saw India win, and she was an absolute strong contestant from day one. She deserved the crown. She was clearly there. Although a lot of drama set in during this entire pageant and after her crowning as well, with France and then Myanmar throwing the crown. I mean, so we don't know what's going on with Nawat in the background. I mean, if you now think about what Myanmar was talking about, the national director saying that she was promised the crown because he paid this much or something. Now it comes into focus to say that was Myanmar's national director actually speaking some truth behind the fact, and the fact that she threw the crown, there is something going on that we don't know.
I never thought of this, Emma. You have a very, very valid point. We've seen 3 of the top 5s have been either made to resign or have resigned. And it just shows poorly on the organization, because I think Nawat takes pride in mentioning that from day one till the very end, there are chaperones, there are, secret agents who are watching the girls, who are totally committed. So, and in fact, we didn't have a panel of judges, to be honest, on the
No.
final night. And I do feel, and from my sources, we found out that it was almost, the first runner-up's crown, and Nawat was really favoring Philippines to go and win.
Yeah.
However, when Rachel came in, her performance was a knockout. There was no one close to what she delivered on that night, and it was very difficult to give the crown to anyone else. I do believe that she stood a mile ahead of any other competition that night. It was her victory, and I think she did everything possible. And which is what breaks our hearts, guys, is the fact that when something that you've really cherished for, you worked your days and nights, you've rallied people along with you. She got that 1 million followers, did everything that you really feel the organization wants to be able to give that elusive golden crown, as we say. She did it all, and to let that go is truly, I'm sure it's not an easy decision. So hats off
It's not about
to
easy
hats off to
decision here,
her.
Guru. For her to let go of something she worked so hard to achieve goes to show the gravity of the situation, what's happening behind, and that she had to stand up so bravely, speak up about it, and say, you know what, I don't want this anymore, and this is why. And she said she's going to speak up about why she doesn't want this crown anymore. And it takes a lot of guts and courage to just do something like that. And it comes to a point where it's not sad, where it's now getting sinister, because what actually provoked her to make such a decision? It has, you have Nawat posting pictures about the chat and her tickets to Guatemala, which is on June 5th or whatever. The point is irrelevant. The fact is that she took a decision to break the contract because of something happening in the background. And he is like, obviously, his announcement came 45 minutes later. Rachel already resigned. She changed her Instagram handle, everything she changed. But these guys took 45 minutes after to talk about it. Usually it would happen before, but there's always been drama in MGI, and then the
That's how
queen
they
does
thrive.
something, and then Nawat comes and he talks about his great thing and his discovery, and he's mocking her in these Instagram posts where he's showing the chat about money. Come on, no
I
one's
think
gonna buy that.
that speaks a lot of the leader of the organization.
It's just how uncouth
It's
you
done in
are, the
very
hypocrisy
untasteful,
behind. Yeah.
very
You
distasteful.
are keeping a check. See, Guru, this is what I have a problem with MJ. I've always had this problem with MJ. He's keeping a check on these women, on their morals, on the ethics and everything, and everyone's watching them, how they behave. Who is watching you, Nawat? Who the hell is watching what you're doing behind everyone's back, and you're getting away with it because you're the organization head? Now, this girl spoke out. Our queen, our deserving Indian queen spoke out. She's bold and she didn't give a shit about the money. She said, take the crown back. And what do you got to show? Just some tickets that we already knew that she was supposed to go, and she canceled. Tell us the real reason. And this is where it's important, because, Guru, I think you and I have talked about it. So much of nonsense goes on in the pageant world. So much goes on, but girls are petrified to talk about it. But girls are scared to bring it out. All these scandals come out, but they don't want to talk about it. Now, Rachel has, and this is going to be huge because 1.5 billion people are not going to be happy with the fact that their queen is being humiliated this way. What do you think?
Absolutely, Emma. When I saw the stories which you just shared a couple of minutes back, having made it available in such a uncouth way, having these laughing emojis,
Laughing emojis. I mean,
talking
come on,
of,
you're a man.
and
Yeah,
the
come on. Yeah.
you know, the two events that he talks about are in the future. So Guatemala and Spain, her trips there are in the future. I
Yeah.
don't think that is evidence enough to dethrone a person. Everything can be done by dialogue. And I
Yeah.
believe these evidences are quite futile in that matter. What I loved about Rachel's way that she still carried on, and I've seen what she has written, even in those comments which she's being mocked at. They are very professional. How else would a person say that this is her value? She's just being very honest and candid, and she has only requested for review. I think that's the right way to do it. I do believe that we, even as professionals, it's sometimes we feel that we are against organizations and toxic cultures, and we can't raise our
Yeah.
voices. But hats off to her. I would like to allude to a small interview of Sushmita Sen, when she talked about the weight that she carried of 1 billion plus people when she became the first Miss Universe, and reminiscing of the fact that she is our first Miss MGI. It's quite similar in terms of how they both felt. So, Sushmita Sen talks about at 8 months down her reign, which is similar to what Rachel is at the moment. She was not feeling well. She was not kind of living up to it. She had chicken pox in between. She had to get quarantined, all of that stuff. However, the contract said, if you can't do this, the first runner-up will take over. That whole threat or that looming sword over her head was always there. But by the end of it, she realized that, yes, I earned the right to have won this crown. And I need to stand up for my own self, my own value. And there was a point where the CEO at that time said that, Sushmita, tomorrow you're going to get fired. This is like in Namibia when she was about to give her crown. And then she said, no, I'm not going to get fired. I will resign. And to have that, that power, it took her a year to speak out on that. And I'm so glad that women of today, and especially women empowerment, which we've seen a lot in even Miss World, how even, girls and women who are there in Telangana are amazed as to how there are women constables in Telangana, and how women are getting the right, direction, which is very progressive and which is very forward-looking. So have a look at that clip from a couple of months back where Sushmita Sen talks about the pressure of India.
Miss Universe was owned by an American giant.
Yeah.
It was at that point owned by Paramount Communication and Madison Square Garden. So you became an employee for them.
Right.
As Miss Universe. And their agreement read that if you don't do this, don't do that, if you ever make an excuse for anything, we send you packing home, and the first runners-up takes your place. No questions asked. So you're your country's first winner. And so many millions of people, they have their hopes pinned on you pulling this off. So I'm running 104 temperature, I'm working. I got chicken pox right after. Most beautiful woman in the world got chicken pox, and she's working. Then she's quarantined because the US does not know what chicken pox is. So I'm quarantined in a room. My mother's flown down. This whole drama takes place. And I'm like a scared puppy that I don't want to put one foot wrong.
Because you didn't want to lose it.
At about 8 months of being Miss Universe, it's the first time I ever said to my travel manager, I won't be able to do this. First time. And she said, but, I said no. And that was it was a defining moment, because after that, I learned that if I do not value that no one gave my country me this, I worked to achieve it. I must stand up for myself, which I was not doing for the first 8 months. After that, I remember Martin Brooks, the president of Miss Universe, is telling me in Namibia, the year that I gave up the crown, saying, so Sushmita, you will be fired tomorrow. So I go, no, darling, I resign. So I had covered that journey.
Yeah.
All right, this video this is so powerful because, Guru, let me again make it very clear to each and every person watching us today. Rachel Gupta resigned. She was not terminated, okay? She resigned. She gave it up before even the organization had time to even respond to it or even want to fire her in the first place. Let's get that straight. And as you said, Guru, rightly, Indian queens have taken a lot, and we are very, very strong women. Indian women are strong women. We will not put up with nonsense, and we are strong and brave enough to face it and give up something that we loved for an integrity and our principles, and that you can clearly see with our past winners as well. And of course, like you said, Harnaz. Who else?
Absolutely. We saw Harnaz and the constant backlash when she gained weight. And the reason of us starting a channel shows the amount of perseverance that she showed during a time of transition. And I'm glad that, she took a stand when it came to what she believes in, and she's thriving today. Similarly for Rachel, if she felt this is the right time, this is the time when she has to act, we respect that equally, But what I don't like is how, people who always wanted that crown are now actually feeling, wow, we finally got it. That's great.
It is
But
actually funny.
yeah.
Absolutely. There are so much of toxicity in the pageant community from certain countries. I think we all know about it, which countries. Because the queen did not win, or she was not worthy. And I'm sorry, Philippines was weak in MGI throughout, whether you like it or not. Just too bad. So she's got a rejected crown. I mean, I don't think what you're being so jubilant about when three of the queens have already left. There's been so much controversy with Nawat on this. I think Rachel is too good for this, and she will do spectacular in her endeavors in the future. I think she's shown us that she's strong and she's brave and she's not going to succumb to nonsense. So yes, they like I said, Guru, the amount of the comments I'm reading now on this entire issue is disgusting because everyone's like, "Oh, good, the deserving queen win." No, 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 no. She
The
didn't
first
win.
runner-up is getting appointed. Let's. I think it's important to have facts. In fact, a couple of people
get facts right.
asked me.
She did not win.
A couple of people even asked me what is my view on this, and I said no comments. If that makes them happy, let them. The facts cannot be changed. She is appointed as the new queen because the winner was, according to the organization, not able to do what is expected of her, which is the prerogative of the organization. However, she was not the queen. She is being appointed now. And we'll put up a small clip for our Indian audiences, since TikTok is banned in India. Have a look and guess.
Have a look at this guy. Now, this guy is talking to TikTok viewers. Of course, you guys are not seeing it. We're showing it to you. Just see how he talks about the entire issue. Take a look.
Lovers, this is your Diva Star. I know that you've been waiting for my commentary about this one, so here you go. Miss Grand International officially announced the termination of Rachel Gupta as its Miss Grand International 2025. Is this a surprise? For me, no, not really a surprise. It's just a matter of time feeling ko that this will happen, because if you closely follow the social media of Miss Grand International and Rachel's, there's really not much happening for the past months as Miss Grand. And alam naman natin na ang Miss Grand International and Papa Nawat, they're very, very active, diba? And seeing that there's minimal to zero activities coming from Miss Grand and Rachel, then it means something's wrong, right? But the another question here is that the official announcement mentioned here that Rachel failed to fulfill her basic duties as Miss Grand, which includes traveling to Guatemala. It also includes her engagement with other entities or companies without the permission of Miss Grand International, which is really a ground for her being dethroned, because again, organizations would have their rules with their queens, and I think this was set clear from the start or onset, diba? Pero ang statement naman ni Rachel Gupta, ang sabi niya, she steps down, diba? She's stepping down rather from her title as Miss Grand. So magkaiba yung nag-resigned at terminate. So which is which? Terminate ba or nag-resign? Para sa akin, I think I would have to go with Miss Grand International stating that she's being terminated.
My God. Just explain it, because I am so not yet.
I think she has the right to speak, right? So let them speak.
I don't know, whatever that is.
However, it's very clear that MGI's 2024 edition was the most respected, the most well-received edition, which was thought to be fair and square. A lot of credibility came back to the organization.
Yes.
And it was revered as, the flipping point. In fact, we also spoke about it, that where Miss MGI is going to overtake Miss Universe, this is that edition.
Yeah.
So I do feel the results were fair and square. There was no supposedly any other queen that had to be there.
No, yeah.
We've already spoken about the fact that she has done, and it's a bold step, and it follows what happened with Miss USA and Miss Teen USA last year. However, I do feel that we are going to get more information. Thankfully, there is no clause that binds her for life to speak, which is great. Here is a comment from the existing ownership management of Miss Grand India organization.
has posted, please be realistic. MGI is real and genuine organization. Okay, grammar. I guess you have done any mistakes, so karma is here. First of all, dude, learn some English. MGI. Okay, and now he's obviously kissing butt of MGI to put a post like that to say MGI is real. Oh my
It is
God.
obvious. I
Nikhil
don't blame
Anand.
him.
Now,
I don't blame him.
I mean, when you think about it, now Nikhil Anand was kicked out again because of some money thing. Now you know this guy Nawat is all about money. He's very, very greedy. He's using women to earn money. He got MU and then he sidelined. Same thing happened with Harnaz when when the take was happening, she was sidelined. She went through mental harassment. We don't know what provoked her to eat. We all have issues where we deal with stuff, we binge, we do something to get our mind off or divert. Now everyone's going through something, but you don't want to address that. You just want to address the superficiality of what you're seeing. So this, as from an Indian to post about an Indian queen, something like this is absolutely pathetic. Pathetic behavior. And now we're seeing a lot of people from Philippines and everyone, the queen has won. And, oh my God, she did not win. And you guys were not deserving of this crown. The only one, like Guru said, India was shining from day one till the time she was crowned. And now we need to address what Rachel is going to say. We know what's going on. I want to know, Guru, because I'm going to make a bold statement here. Guru and I were approached by a very, very famous producer doing a series on these pageant scandals, and we were approached by many queens who shared horrifying stories. Of course, we can't name them, of what goes on in the background. Now, these girls are still scared stiff to even say or speak out about the nonsense that's happened with them because they want to make a career out of their lives. They want to be models or actors or something, and this is a platform because beauty pageants were a platform to empower women. But that's never going to happen in MGI because he has ruined the whole, the sanctity of what a beauty pageant is. And now we're seeing all this coming out. I'm surprised, Guru. Do you think MGI will ever stop being, filled or marred with so much of controversies and
No, Emma,
against
I was
women?
just thinking, while yes, you've mentioned about the sanctity of beauty pageants, let's go back to history where it all started, right? 1951, Festival of Britain, where Miss World was organized by a swimsuit competition. 1 year later, again, Miss Universe, main sponsor, swimsuits. So I do believe it was always about business. It was all about entertainment. However, thanks to Julia, that's where we saw in 1972 that the whole beauty with a purpose slogan to ensure that pageants are still relevant.
Yeah.
I think that's where the turn happened. Otherwise, yes, they've always been money-making institutes, but also with the the last decade or so, where we're talking of women empowerment, Me Too movement, Speak Up movement. I believe that suddenly women felt that this should properly be integrated into pageantry as well, where we saw a lot of stories coming out. What is your personal branding came out, where we saw age limits not being there any limits to those having mothers, having wives, having transgenders, all of them come in, right? So they have evolved over, but the essence of that has always been to make money. And what we've seen, unfortunately, is that with the current takeover, if I may say, of the two systems of MGI and Miss Universe, it's not really good news for Miss Universe as well, because we just saw, I think this weekend, where in Miss Universe Phuket, I believe, we have the three MGI queens from Miss Grand Thailand coming in and helping out in all of those activities. And then we suddenly see a state winner getting crowned, but then we see Veena coming in and the winner actually getting sidelined. So it's going to just get more toxic when it comes to this pageant system. And it's sad. Will they thrive or not? Of course they will thrive. People love entertainment. It's the true essence of pageantry, which is just getting threatened so much that we pageant lovers and historians really feel bad. Otherwise, all of this happens in every industry. It could be in banking, it could be there in showbiz, it could be in law, it could be anywhere, right? But it's just that our image of pageantry still remains very, very endearing, which is just dying. And it's sad.
It's really, here's the problem because I mean, you talk about business, of course, there's business and everything and the controversies. We just saw one with Miss World. Telangana has put in the amount of money I don't think Nawat could ever dream about. The amount of promotions we have done with Miss World, Telangana has brought it on. The entire country is behind this event. And well, yes, there might have been one issue with Miss England. I think Julia Morley addressed it
Class apart.
with such dignity and class, and she's brought it out. She brought the real issue out. The organization handled that scandal so beautifully. I
I
mean,
have
and
goosebumps.
eloquently. That's how you behave. Not like Nawaz putting, oh, she wanted money, ha 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 ha, and funny
For
faces.
that
I mean, how
matter,
uncouth
Emma, I
and
think
uneducated.
the two ladies who still have my salute are Paula Sugart and Julia Morley. I
Julia
think
Molly,
both
oh my
of them,
God, yes, yes,
you
and
know,
and Nawaz coming on stage and he's not even affiliated with Paula Sugar in any way, but just because he had that takeover, he was insulting Cosmo. Don't try to be this, don't. I mean, this is absolutely. I mean, it's a circus. MJ is a circus, and the way Nawaz is bringing in that filth into MU, gone. Miss Universe is gone. What we used to love and see is just gone. And I don't know what kind of a fanfare or a big carnival it might be. That integrity of Miss Universe is gone, and Nawat behaving like this. You know what? I'm not even bothered about MGI anymore, Guru. I don't think I want to talk about it. I don't think I want to cover
I
the
think,
pageant anymore.
Emma, I think we'll take this occasion to clearly mention that as a solidarity move
Yeah.
towards this whole incident, we will not be covering Miss Grand India this season.
Absolutely. And to all our interview viewers, follow the news, get the facts, and realize it's time to boycott MGI. I think this is ridiculous, and nobody has a right to treat our Indian queen like that or any other woman like that. And I think we've seen enough from him. So, yes, Pageant Gurus take a firm stand. No more MGI on our channel.
Well, you know, the seeds of this started very, very early. The moment she was crowned, in a couple of weeks,
Mm,
we saw that Nikhil Anand was no longer the national director for Miss Grand India. And that itself started this whole uneasiness about her victory. She
mm,
never got a homecoming. She rallied all her resources, and thanks to her family, she was able to put up a great front. The existing organization did nothing to utilize
mm,
her power and her persona. And she, in fact, went along to thank her family to have helped her to get her the kind of engagements and the kind of events that were created around her homecoming. Nawad and Teresa did come to India, but a couple of days Nawad flew. I think he was very, very mesmerized at the reception he received in Philippines.
mm.
Um, you know, when tensions between the two countries and our neighbors happened, Rachel was the one who posted herself on her Instagram, which is great. She raised her voice when in a live Nawaz spoke about the fact that India is delaying all the visas, and she very
Mm, mm.
politely and very professionally took a stand saying that it's nothing to do with India. She is doing whatever the organization is telling her.
Yeah.
Um, I think she dared to dream, and she
You
wanted to
know,
be, a part of the Create the World Peace Summit. If you remember her interview,
yeah, yeah.
and I just feel that her expectations of the organization was much higher than what is ground reality.
See, I'll tell you something, Guru. What you just said, all of it. The fact is that Nawat likes a puppet. She was never going to be a puppet. She was strong and bold, and she knew what she wanted to do. When there was a conflict in our country, she spoke up about it. They were saying, "Oh, she's come here and she's taking her time," and then there was some festival, she's taking her time. All sorts of things. They just why? Because she knew what was needed of her to do, and she did that. And then anything beyond her being molded into this little Nawati thing did not happen. She was not a puppet. I'm sorry, but the other girls they get played very easily, but Indian girls were not going to take that nonsense, and
True.
she was not that type of person. She spoke up. So I think that's where the clashes started happening, because I clearly feel in Rachel, you can see her. She is a bold woman. She is not going to be a puppet to any man, all right? No woman would want that from anyone in their lives. So this is what annoys Nawaz. So you can see how immaturely he's playing it, and how maturely Rachel has said goodbye, and then he's like, send the crown back. I mean, how cheap are you to
In
even talk
30
about something like
days.
that? We don't want the MGI crown anymore, and we are not supporting MGI anymore. So I don't get it. I mean, do you really think she's at a loss here?
I think,
You're at a loss here,
I think
because
what
people
the
are, if you see the comments, Guru, just to cut you short, they are, of course, we know which countries are supporting the wonderful queen right now, but everybody is calling out Nawat's nonsense. Everybody is saying that there's so much going on and lurking in the background is coming out now. I'm super eager and anxious to see what Rachel is going to say.
True, very true. I think, Emma, the tipping point, if I may say, what really brushed off this whole thing was we all were expecting Rachel to be at Cannes. And
Yeah.
when we saw, she not being there, and then when we actually saw her there suddenly coming again, and we saw our own Nikhil Anand supporting our queen, even though he has nothing to
Yeah.
do with it.
Yeah.
I think we even posted that apne to apne hote hain. And I think that really rubbed Nawad the wrong way. And what's
From
demeaning is the fact that if you look at the MGI timeline on Instagram, there's no
they've
Rachel,
erased her.
except
They've
for one
completely
post
erased
where somehow
Rachel.
it's still left out. So guys, you may want to delete that as well.
I mean, it is pathetic. I mean, you guys are so pathetic. And you know what? Let me tell you one thing. The Khan's picture came out, and trust me, I can read eyes. She was looking upset. She was not looking herself. There was something bothering her at Khan's when she was in this. All of her pictures, there's something very disturbing in her eyes that she was just not at
Was
ease.
it wrong for her to have participated in MGI? I just thought about this
I don't think
question.
it's wrong for her to. I don't think it was wrong for her because as a spiritualist, everything happens for a reason and a purpose in your life, and I think this was a very important learning point for her. Maybe she's gonna change the direction of many girls who are going into MGI because she's speaking out about the nonsense, and I think girls need to know about it. This is gonna encourage a lot of women to speak up when things are just wrong. She talked about a toxic environment and a misconduct. She's talked about a lot of things that she has gone through, and there are these hidden, words where we know something has happened in the background. And I think it's important that Rachel did, because other girls are not, whatever that happened, Nawat has already always come in front and posted filth about them. I mean, even Myanmar, I remember he posted the nude pictures of the national directors when he was on OnlyFans. He stoops down to such levels to bring down a person who speaks up about Nawat and the organization, anything against it, he finds these horrible ways to bring the person down. And he did that with the national director of Myanmar as well. So I think, no, I think she needed this. She proved that she was a winner and she was a worthy winner. And you know what? She's also proved to the world that she's a strong, brave, courageous woman. And she's inspiring a lot of beauty queens to be that as well. Don't bow down because of the crown. Never. That's another thing. Don't bow down because of the crown. I think we're going to have to tell a lot of girls to do this. Never bow down because you have the crown, and take nonsense
In
because of
fact,
it.
Emma, we spoke about this, the curse of the crown, where we spoke
Yeah.
about even the national directors, about the organizations, about
Yeah.
so many things. We'll post a link on that video as well. Very relevant at this time as well. This is certainly not the end. As the story evolves, we will be with you guys as and when the story unfolds. But this was important for us in the midst of this world. Yes, we had to do this. We had to do this as Indians. We had to do this as pageant lovers. We had to do this as humans.
Guys, let us know what you thought about this entire thing, whether you're Indian or non-Indian, wherever you're from. Let us know what you think about Nawat and the MJ organization, with so many horrifying, weird things that are going on in the background, and we don't know about it. And he's just covering it up. I think MGI, your days are numbered. You will still have followers, you will still have a show, but you know what? The guys who really, really love pageants, well, we're gonna boycott you definitely, because I think there's just not about her being an Indian woman. I think any woman. And we know many women from many countries in pageants that are suffering as well and are scared to speak out. So ladies, speak up, whether you are a queen or whether you are just a housewife or facing abuse at work or at home or with your friends, anything in a relationship as well. Speak up. Never be scared to speak up. And this is a valuable lesson Rachel Gupta has just shared with all of us. So you know what? Kudos, sweetheart. We love you and we are with you and we are always going to support you and we are right by your side. And we will definitely be having more because I know this is not the end of it, Guru. We are going to hear from Rachel and then we're definitely going to come back and address that statement as well. So this was a quick bulletin, a breaking news, because this has annoyed Guru and me and a lot of fans around the world as well. So, well, let us know what you think about it. And well, hopefully, we see better days for Rachel as well. So this is it for us for now. And from Guru and I, we're signing off. And stay tuned for more breaking news from the Pageant Gurus. Till then,
Shukriya.
shukriya.